Okay, so today we're going to talk about the second stage in the framework when we're trying to improve mental health and wellbeing across communities. Now, this second stage is called the initial steps stage, and it is once again a stage that is quite often brushed over and overlooked because we're desperate to get to the action planning. But it's actually a really important stage and gives a lot of satisfaction for the team and also notice to the wider community. Now, whether your team is big or small, it doesn't matter. And for those who are panicking, thinking, well, I don't have a team yet, if you go back and look at the previous video, that will give you a bit of an understanding. But obviously, it's good to have an idea about the whole picture as well. So I've seen some of the most successful committees that I've worked with have been committees of, say, 3 or 4 people. But those people are the really passionate ones. They're the ones who are really there because they want to make a difference. So it's very important that we don't get too hung up on the team being too small, because honestly, from little things, big things grow as people start to notice the work that you're doing. Now, in this initial steps phase, it's really important to this is a time when you're going to develop a sense of pride. You want to make sure that your team is developing a sense of pride in the work that they're doing, that they're getting a sense of achievement, because your team are probably most likely to be people that put their hand up over and over again to volunteer, that are people that are busy probably in their own lives as well, but they're the people that are absolutely going to get things done. But those people need to be looked after and nurtured. We want to make sure when they come to things that they're always leaving with an outcome and not just having endless discussions that end up nowhere. We want to make sure that they get to really enjoy the process that we go through in order to make this change happen. Another important step in this stage is that we allow our community to start to see the work that we're doing. We start to create visibility for our team and create buy-in for our community so that they'll be the ones celebrating what we're doing later and really helping us to gain momentum. The other thing that we're doing in this initial stage, in this initial steps phase, is that we can be starting to look at getting some early funds going. Just some little things through community events that we run so that we can start having a little bit of money in the kitty for some small things before we get access to bigger grants. Now, I'm just going to share my framework document with you so that you can see what it is that I'm talking about. Now, for those of you who've seen some of the other videos in this series that I've done, this document will be familiar to you. But if this is the first time you're seeing it, this is my framework-based approach overview, and really there's 4 key phases in it. Now, today we're talking about our initial steps phase. So in this stage, the type of things that you'll actively be doing is you'll be thinking about ways to create a sense of belonging and connection. So simple things that you can do, community type events that you can do that help develop that sense of community, that sense of connection that is really important in our mental health. You can be looking at some basic messaging and communication, because really this phase is not action planning. It's really important to define that. This phase is where you're thinking about some small actions that can have, that can be impactful, some simple actions that can be impactful, that don't take copious amounts of your time in order to develop them. So it might be that you create some simple messaging or communication. It might be through a social media channel, or it might be through your local newsletter, or whatever it might be. But getting that basic presence out there so people start to notice the work you're doing. You might do some targeted activities such as a 3-tier snapshot, or protective and risk factors activity, or many other things that are really important. And I've actually provided a link under this video that you can access that will give you access to some of those activities that you can utilize in this process. And of course, there's a few other things that you can cover that are listed on that initial steps phase. But basically, really, and I come back to it again, it's about making sure those people in your group are feeling like they're having success and that the community is starting to get buy-in. That's what this phase is all about. All right. I'm going to stop there now. I'm going to just stop sharing this document. I'll be doing 2 more videos on each of the other phases, the other stages that are coming up, the action planning and the momentum, so that you have a really good understanding of the whole process and the whole framework. But for now, I will leave you for now, and I'll see you later.